Hey there, Libra. Welcome to your reading for the rest of 2024. And sorry, I'm going to turn that off. But you start with this Taurus card. It says perseverance. It says, remember, slow and steady wins the race. Awaken your inner bull to give you patience. You also have this fiery beginnings card. It says you're on the brink of a real breakthrough. Follow your heart and live your passion. So there you go. Love it. You have the Six of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and the Eight of Wands. The Six of Swords could be a breakthrough by moving away from something that no longer serves you, or by just moving on to calmer shores. So if there is something that is too complicated, or if there's something that you want to move away from, I always think that the Six of Swords can be a really good energy. One thing I will say is that you have the Ten of Wands right next to the Six of Swords, and that type of energy is kind of like stuck in the mud energy. And here we go, we have the Tower. So I wouldn't worry too much about the Tower. Pretty much everyone's had the Tower again, so it doesn't really surprise me. But one thing I will say is that, again, that can represent like stuck in the mud energy, or just not being sure like how to keep moving through the choppy waters. So I think that you need to make sure that like external circumstances aren't weighing you down. So sometimes I feel, like this type of thing would be with, especially with the Tower there, could be things going on in the world that are slowing you down. It's like I always say, like, I think over the next 10 years, there's going to be plenty of reasons not to do things, like whatever you want, to like whatever you're trying to accomplish. But we have to do it anyway. My concern is that, like, I wouldn't even say 10 years. I would say by the time we get to like 2033, I think people are going to look back on the last 10 years, like until 2023, they're going to look back to that time and they're going to say to themselves, like, all I did was worry. I didn't really get anything done. So, I think that while there are like plenty of things to worry about, that, kind of changing your focus onto like what you can do is going to be very important for you at the end of the year here. So at least that you're always making progress. And, I'm a big fan of making those tiny little steps. You have that Taurus card, and Taurus says slow and steady wins race. It's like that one, Taurus is that 1 foot in front of the other, that slow plodding energy. But again, eventually, the thing with making those tiny changes is you actually make changes much, much faster than you think, even though it seems like you're only taking one step. So I feel like the Six of Swords is saying, like, take those steps. You have the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups, of course, can be like a knight in shining armor, or love returning to your life. And I feel like saying love returning to your life, I don't think it's a past person. I think that this is just love. Even that other card says, it says follow your heart and live your passion. And the Knight of Cups is dreaming of something. He's kind of like dreaming of his passion, and kind of like funny that I just said that, he is, well, let's put it this way. He's standing in the desert where nothing can grow, but there's water flowing in front of him, so he could easily plant seeds in front of that water and it will grow. So he is, again, in a place in the world where he thinks there is nothing for him, but there actually is. So again, that is the energy I get from your reading, is like, you might think that you're in a negative time. And again, I'm not saying there aren't negative things, that are going on around you. That could be very true, but at the same time, it's like, what can you do to get things to grow anyway? And if you make these changes, things will grow much faster than you think. Eight of Wands is quick success, or it's things happening very quickly. And so I feel that your focus is going to be important. I think, the word that always pops into my head with the Eight of Wands is is focus, really. Those arrows, those wands are meant to represent the arrows of love, but that's like the traditional meaning of the Eight of Wands, but those arrows are all pointing in one direction. So I think that what you focus on is going to be very important with the Eight of Wands. I also think that, not really a love reading yet, that could change. But what I would say is, if you do want love, Eight of Wands is a great card for socializing, spending time with people. That could be how you meet a person. With the Six of Swords, you have the Eight of Wands. So basically the universe saying I meant what I said. I can already tell that there's going to be a bunch of repeating cards here. I have never had a set of readings where there are so many repeating cards. This set, this end of 2024 set of readings, everybody has had repeating cards. Repeating cards are confirmation of the message, but they're also confirmation for your path. So you are at least thinking in the right direction, I would say. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Magician. Yeah, you can have whatever you want, really. The Magician says you can attract whatever you desire into your life. Just make sure that you're using the right tools. I kind of feel this is like a little bit of a secret of the times as well, is that the Magician, he has the ace versions of all of the suits in the tarot in front of him, and he just has to pick the right tool for the job. So if something isn't working out in your life, like work, business, love, whatever, it just says make sure you're using the right tool. Maybe you're, maybe you're following your heart and it isn't working. So maybe you need to use your swords, right? Maybe you need to use your intellect, or maybe you need to use your creativity. You have a lot of wands cards here, so maybe you need to get more creative or more passionate. Maybe you aren't passionate about what you're doing and you need to develop or find something that kind of lights you up. And I definitely get that feeling from the Magician. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is the Wounded Warrior. Again, fearing repeating a cycle going this direction here. We go Wheel of Fortune to the Tower. This right here is kind of like asking yourself, if you do something again, or if you try to do something again, are you just going to get the same result? It's like you could be fearing, if you started a business in the past and it didn't work out, you could be fearing, repeating the mistake. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Closure card and also this 4C card, which is kind of interesting because there is a spiral staircase that is kind of like going down to this clock. The Closure card, I do feel some of you could be literally getting closure. We are still in Mercury retrograde. Well, you might be watching this after the retrograde because I'm publishing it right before the end, although we'll still be in the shadow basically until September. So, take it how it resonates, but you could be receiving closure. I feel like this spiral staircase is like you looking into the future and wondering if you're just going to repeat something over again, which is like what you're trying to avoid. You have the Ten of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Seven of Swords. The Ten of Wands is carrying too many burdens, and again, I would say that this card, it has been the most, it's repeated the most in this set of readings, so clearly, it's a collective energy. People are looking at the burdens that they've been dealing with at the end of the year here, and people could be trying to release burdens, which I think would be a great thing for you to do. This energy is really not so bad, going from Ten of Wands to the Tower, because this is kind of like back to the drawing board type of energy. You could be finding yourself kind of like scrapping a project and restarting it at this time, and I definitely get that feeling from this reading that some of you could be kind of like scrapping a project or going back to the beginning of something to do it the right way. And again, is that a bad Tower moment? I would say no. I think that is a good Tower moment. It might be annoying because you might have to like rework something, or you might be discovering something you have to rework. Typical retrograde, right? It's like we've had a retrograde the entire month of August practically, Mercury retrograde, and during a retrograde, we can definitely rework things, but I feel like this is going to change your fortunes, or it will make something much stronger or better with the Wheel of Fortune. So don't be afraid if you have to kind of, go back to the drawing board at this time, or you have to revisit something and kind of redo it. It's kind of giving me that vibes. And this could be, it feels like something you're working on or something that you're working towards. Again, the Ten of Wands, he's working towards a result. He is trying to have a harvest, and he is trying to reach his home in the background there. And the Ten of Wands is really good because he's about to reach his home. He is about to, complete his long journey here. So again, I think you're much closer than you think as well. I kind of said that on the Taurus card, that it's giving me these vibes that you're much closer than you think. The Seven of Swords can be lying, cheating, stealing. Again, if you're receiving closure, I would be careful, especially if it's from a person, because, it could be closure, but it's like maybe you also don't necessarily want to know that a person, cheated on you with your like best friend, your uncle, and your mother, right? It's like no one really wants to hear that. So I would be, it's like, do you need to know, or could you just let it go, right? And not get the closure, right? And I kind of feel that's what this is saying. The Seven of Swords is really a good card, though. It's about discovering better ways to do things, and you and your opposite sign Aries always get these cards of like needing to discover how to work in a better way. I told you with the Ten of Wands, you have the Wheel of Fortune, more repeating cards. Basically, I knew that there were going to be a bunch in this reading, and so the Wheel of Fortune, changing your fortunes. I also feel that you could be having a harvest coming up that does change your fortunes. So, if you have been working towards something and you're getting close to the finish line, this could say that you're finally going to get the result you've been after. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is a card of like wish fulfillment. So again, I kind of feel like you are getting something that you've been wishing for or hoping for with the Wheel of Fortune twice now and the Nine of Cups. The Tower could be a good surprise, and we're going to see. I haven't clarified it yet, so we'll see what comes up. But, it's kind of looking to me like this Tower might not be that big of a deal for you. It might be something, it could be a shocking surprise, but it could be a good shocking surprise that comes in for you. With the Seven of Swords, you cannot make this stuff up. You have the Seven of Swords, so yep, I would definitely look for better ways of doing things. He's stealing those swords from an army in the background, so instead of going to war, he is stealing those swords from the army in the background, so he doesn't have to go to war. It's like, is there a better way to do what you're doing right now? He also needs to not take things too seriously. He has these polka dots on his cloak, and polka dots in the tarot can come up when we're taking something too seriously. Like I said at the beginning of the reading, if you're worried about things that are going on in the world, it's not that they don't matter. It just means that, that you could be taking the situation too seriously. You need to focus on your own life. You need to make your life the best that you possibly can. So that's what I would do here with the Seven of Swords, and I would make sure that you're not focusing too much on the negative, right? Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this card. It says, choose your words carefully. You have this mystic circle. It says your abilities will be enhanced. So with the Magician, you could be attracting things very quickly, and I would be very careful of the words that you use against yourself. There's a great guy. I can never remember his name. Unfortunately, he passed away. And I saw him on a podcast once, and sorry, I can't remember his name. I'll try to remember to post the podcast I listened to down below. But he talks about the words that we use against ourselves. Like if we say something out loud about ourselves, it's like 1,000 times stronger than if we just don't say it at all, right? So and that's popping into my head, that it would be better for you to just not even say negative things, period, and just ignore it, even if there are negative things going on, right? And so I'd watch your words, and like I said, I think you could be manifesting very quickly. You have the Tower, the Two Wands, and the Fool. Again, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I do get this back to the drawing board energy in your reading, but is it a bad thing? I think it's more annoying than it is a bad thing, right? It's like you've been working all along, and now maybe you're discovering a better way to do things, and, it kind of seems to me like you could be having a realization that you have to redo something in your life, but I also, again, I think the result is so worth it, is what I'm trying to say. It's like, yeah, sure, it's a pain in the ass, you have to redo something, but at the same time, I think the outcome is going to outweigh the fact that you have to redo something. So again, I don't really see this as a bad Tower. I mean, it's going to be annoying maybe, but is it bad? No. You have the Two of Wands. Again, Two of Wands can also kind of represent finding another way to do things. The story of the Two of Wands is that he rushed to a finish line, and he kind of accomplished things that he wanted to accomplish, but he didn't really enjoy the journey. And he thinks that things are always going to be the same, but he's kind of looking out here at the world. He's not looking right here at the world that he has in his hands. And so he needs to realize that there are so many different ways that he can accomplish his goal. The Two of Wands is about taking the lead, making progress, but to do that, he has to get out of his castle, and he has to kind of go have experiences, or he has to get out into the world and, again, realize that there are different ways of doing things. I think it's no mistake that you go down on the Chariot. The Chariot is about leaving the familiar behind and charging in a new direction. So, a lot of you could be doing that. You have the Fool, and the Fool is about taking a leap of faith. Again, I feel you could be taking a leap of faith kind of in a new direction. So I don't really feel that you're necessarily leaving something behind with that Six of Swords that also is in that first diagonal. But I think your approach is changing to certain things. Like if it's love, your approach is changing. If it's your business, I don't think you're necessarily leaving a business, or you're not necessarily leaving your career. But the approach is what's changing here with the Fool, and you could be developing or coming up with a new approach which is going to make you successful. With the Tower, you have the Devil. Yeah, I would definitely be careful of a past person. Again, I feel that it's it's one of those things. Like if a past person contacts you, they could be contacting you, providing you with closure, but it's do you need to say anything back to them? That's what's popping into my head. And again, if you don't want to know the true story, right here, it's do you really want to know the details? Do you really want to know the dirty details of this person? And I kind of feel like the answer is no. So I would, maybe you just need to block this person. so that you don't find out, or if they send you a letter or something, maybe it would be better just to burn it and let it go, especially with that devil. With the Two of Wands, you have the Page of Swords. I think, by the way, that with that Tower, it's like, some of you have moved on and you're just like totally not expecting a person to ever tell you the truth. So again, I would be careful. Page of Swords could be a person spying, but the Page of Swords with the Two of Wands, I feel, is saying it would be an amazing time for you to kind of follow your curiosity. And again, that very first card, the Fiery Beginning, says you're on the brink of a real breakthrough. Follow your heart and live your passion. So the Page of Swords is curious about like new beginnings or new opportunities, and he needs to kind of like move in those directions. With the Fool, you have the Four of Swords, Mercury retrograde card for sure. Sometimes, back in the day, I used to say that Four of Swords was my card of the retrograde because, it kind of represents good things to do during retrograde, like rest, relax, recover, revisit, redo, all that other good stuff. So, I think some of you are coming off a period of time where you have been resting, recovering, relaxing, all that other stuff. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this knowledge card, and you also have this void moon. It says do nothing. So I think that if a person is coming back to you, maybe it would be best for you to do nothing. And with this knowledge card, I think that it would be a great time with the Seven of Swords and also the Magician to learn like new ways of doing whatever you have been doing. Again, that the Seven of Swords obviously is standing out to me. You have it twice. But he has these polka dots, and the polka dots, like I said, can represent taking things too seriously. But the polka dots can represent, inviting a more playful energy into your life, and being more playful, not taking things too seriously, which we've said this entire time. You have the Seven of Cups, the Five of Swords, and the Chariot. The Seven of Cups is coming up in the good stuff, so this would kind of represent you having a clear vision on an outcome that you desire. He is normally imagining something, but he's imagining like all the good things and bad things that could happen if he does what he is thinking about doing. So I feel for a lot of you, the Seven of Swords is kind of saying that, or the Seven of Cups is kind of saying that you are finally gaining clarity on the actions that you need to take. You have the Five of Swords, which again, this could be you closing out a cycle with a person completely, but also the Five of Swords is my card of risk-taking. And we have the Fool right here, and the Fool is also kind of a risk. He is taking a leap of faith towards a new beginning. So I kind of feel that that's what this is saying, especially with the Chariot. The Chariot is also kind of taking a risk. He is leaving behind where he's from. He's leaving the city behind him, and he is moving in a new direction. And he's just hoping that he's going to find what he wants. The Chariot, he is in alignment. He has these stars in his canopy, these moons on his shoulders. It represents as above, so below. The true meaning of the Chariot is that because he's in alignment, the universe, these two sphinxes represent the mysteries of the universe. The universe is guiding him in the right direction because he's in alignment. So watch your words, right? Don't speak negatively against yourself, because then you're out of alignment. And make sure that you are in alignment. And you also have the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is about, bathing in the energy of what you desire. And so if you are in the energy of what you want, you will get it. With the Seven of Cups, yes, you have the Empress. So I like it, glow up vibes, getting to where you want. This is a card of abundance as well. So whatever you're creating with that Seven of Cups is clearly going to bring a lot of abundance into your life. With the Five of Swords, you have the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles is a new beginning. So I think that, this reading is very simple. I think this reading is a fiery new beginning. You have that Fiery Beginnings card. You have the Tower. So clearly there's some sort of back to the drawing board, new beginning that is going on here. The Page of Pentacles would also represent knowledge. He is a card of studiousness. He is a card of education. With the Chariot, you have the Knight of Cups. So another repeating card. Just like I said, I felt like there would be a lot of repeating cards in this reading. The Knight of Cups could be a knight in shining armor. I really feel this is more a reading that is all about you, Libra. I think that it's saying that you are about to kind of like go back to the drawing board, and you're about to do things again the right way. And so if this is love, it would be new love, but you're doing things the right way. If it's business, same thing. You're doing things the right way. You have this order card. You're doing things in order. It's like maybe you realize that you kind of like did things in the wrong order the first time, and that could be why you're putting things in order and doing things the right way this time. You have this discovery card. Yeah, I would be open to discovery with the Two of Wands. Be open to discovering new ways of doing things, and the Seven of Swords twice. I would make sure that you're kind of like studying, exploring, experimenting, it seems to be a really good time for doing that. You have the risk card, can't make that up, so definitely would be a good time for you to take some sort of risk or for you to, try something new. You have the adaptability card. I mean, I don't know. I think that Libra is pretty adaptable in the first place, so I would just keep adapting to things as they come. And finally, you have this affair card. This card is like a positive love affair, could represent love entering into your life. So again, you could be preparing for love, or you could be preparing for a new connection. But again, I think this is a very just, simple, straightforward kind of reading where it's like there's a fiery new beginning coming in for you. So, and I think it's going to be good as well. So that's the good news. But thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.